Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Sunday, September 1st, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I align my actions with my vision and my focus. Let me be the first to wish you rabbit for our September month ahead. I just recorded the month ahead for Patreon group and we have a lot going on this month, and the first kicks it off, kind of shows us what the month's going to be about. So let's dig in. Today we have two major shifts, which is why I'm here today. Not to mention we are preparing for a new moon coming in tomorrow on Monday. And so we're in the dark of the moon for this, and the dark of the moon can bring stuff up from our depths. So watch for that. Today we have Uranus going retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and we have Pluto retrograding back into the sign of Capricorn. With both of these in earth signs, it actually causes a little bit of a loose trine between these two. And these are my two planetary agents of change. Uranus is meant to liberate us, and Pluto helps us transform. So this combination is kind of powerful. We also have a yod going on with Neptune and Pluto feeding in, and that yod is pointing at the moon today, finishing up in the sign of Leo. And so it's reminding us, with great love, all things are possible. And I think that's really going to be important to help us move through this month of September. I've heard a lot of doom and gloom about September. I can't say that it's going to be easy. I can't say that it's going to be perfect, but I will remind us all that we're all co-creators, and I think it's better to lean into love than fear as we help co-create the unfolding. Where can you help ease the fear and bring in greater love and greater trust in God, Spirit, universe, the divine, knowing that God can take anything nefarious and use it for good. God can take literally anything and use it for good. God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, right? So back today, Uranus retrograde. Uranus is going retrograde officially at 8:17 a.m. Pacific time. A lot of times Uranus retrograde, like a few days before and a few days after, can shake up our sleep. It can shake up our nervous systems, how we're grounding. If you have anything specifically at 27 degrees, then there's a good chance that it's being affected by this Uranus energy. What are you being asked to let go of? Where do you need to liberate yourself or liberate yourself from something, right? In these energies. Uranus can be counted on to trigger us, to help show us where we need to do the work. So if you are feeling triggered, that's a good sign. Congratulations, you've been Uranus, and Uranus is showing you, here, this is where you're being called into your personal revolution, evolution. This is where you need to work on shifting and evolving yourself. For all of us in this Uranus retrograde, it is helping us review and hopefully reveal deeper layers of our own personal values, of our personal worth, our personal gifts, all of that to help support our walk and everybody else's walk on the planet. Now, Pluto is going to be retrograding back into Capricorn. It looks like 5:10 p.m. Pacific time is when it heads back in. And this is it. This is the final countdown for Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn it's been there pretty much the whole time, minus a few in and outs with Aquarius, since 2008. So these are lessons that began in 2008 that we are completing. And Capricorn is the sign of government, of rules, of authority, of legacy. And so with Pluto here, we're having really big shifts of what has been the structures of the world. And hopefully we will be creating new ones that works on a more global level when we work with Pluto in Aquarius. But we ourselves need to look at our own power engagement when it comes to power, when it comes to personal authority, when it comes to our own morals and rules, and even looking at our conditioning and seeing where we've been in power struggles and where we need to release it. Now, you can always look where Capricorn is in your chart to see what these lessons have been focused upon. You can always book a reading if you want to have that support, but make sure to look from your sun and from your ascendant, because we always are working, you know, 2 layers of lessons in these things. Pluto will be in the sign of Capricorn until November 19th. I think it retrogrades until like right around, what is it, October 19th? What is the date? October 12th is when it goes direct, and then it comes to the door. And okay, and then it, you know, goes direct and will finish up its process. The biggest days will be as energies interact with it, and Pluto is part of these yads. So paying attention to some of these yads that we're working through, they're like, bring in the love. That's going to be really important to pay attention to in these energies. Besides these things today going on, we have the moon finishing up in Leo and moving into Virgo. Like I said, preparing for the new moon on Monday. The moon will shift into Virgo not until later in the evening, 8:48 p.m., but that's definitely going to amplify some of the mental energy. So keep in mind where your mind and what your mind is focused upon as we move into this new moon energy for Monday. The moon in Leo will make several connections today. Like I said, it's going to have the yod. So staying in touch with your inner child, keeping connected to the energy of love, even if you are feeling challenged by these astro energies, that will be really helpful. The moon will be connecting to Mercury, so speaking love, communicating love. This is Mercury finishing up its own retrograde process. It's actually at 22 degrees, so master degree in speaking words of love. The moon will square Uranus. That's actually Uranus's first transit after it goes direct. A little square with the moon. So watch for triggers for your inner child, and also notice where your love energy and your value energy have not synced up and might need a little syncing to help support you. Moon and Mars make a connection later in the day as well. I feel like with all these transits, it's a little hair-raising. This moon and Mars, it's a sextile, but anytime we have moon and Mars connecting, it can have some intense, it can have some temper tantrums, especially with the moon in the Leo. Watch your inner child. If you're feeling temper tantrumy, tend to your inner child. Let's look at these cards that we have. Patience. Patience is the top of the cards today. I think that's important for you, for your inner child. We have the compromise card. I always call it the don't compromise card, and I think when it comes to your values, do not compromise. But I think recognizing this astro is intense and giving like wide berth today might help. And I sometimes get that with that compromise card. It's like, okay, we can connect just a little bit, you know, pinkies out. We have the consciousness card in reverse, so we may not be the most conscious in this energy. Try to stay in your focus. That's going to be important. Innocence card. Now this is in reverse. The innocence card is the sun card. Again, we might not be feeling this so much. We might be feeling a little overcast, a little swirled up in a blender, a little triggered by these energies. Stay in touch with your inner child. Be good to yourself in this energy. And the final card I love is the Nothingness card, which is a card of pure potentiality, which reminds us it's always up to us and the energies to make what we're going to make from it. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading. Eclipse readings available. September has our eclipses coming in. Wow. So besides all that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.